So last week I picked up this paint set, and it is a jelly gouache paint set. They've kind of blown up all over YouTube. Everyone's like, "Ooh, jelly gouache, what the heck?" So I had to get myself a kit because it's just really cute. I understand why everybody hopped on this train and decided to get one because they're adorable, and you could pick the container color. So they had a light blue, a light green, a yellow, and this pink one. So I picked the pink one because I just thought it was cute. Um, and yeah, I really like it. I'm not that used to using gouache, so I can't really say if this is necessarily like high quality. The only other set of gouache paints that I've used have been from a tube, and I think they were the Artist Loft brand. So they were really cheap, not high quality paints. I still really enjoyed them, and there's nothing wrong with cheap products. They can work just as good as professional quality level products in the right hands. I just don't have the knowledge and the know-how about gouache paints to tell you if these perform, how they should perform. That being said, I really do like them. Um, and the kit was not too expensive, like I said, about $20. So I think it's worth it for the amount of product that you get. I think it's definitely worth it. The one thing that kind of confuses me though is that, so the appeal is that they come in these little cups, and they like little jelly cups, and I think the point of the container is that they stay wet, that they don't dry out, because with gouache and watercolor, the appeal is that you can make a little palette and it can dry out, and then you just spritz it with water to reactivate the paint, and it's no big deal. You don't waste much product. um, the thing with this container is that if your paints are still wet and you just toss it in your backpack and it flips upside down, there's a pretty high chance of the paints like getting everywhere and mixing, and that actually did happen. Later on in the video, you'll see that my white paint has a ton of the Prussian blue, so that was not fun because I threw it in my backpack and I wasn't thinking, and it just like dribbled over into the white paint. So that's a little sad. At least they give you two um, cups of white paint, so it's not the end of the world. But you do have to think like this is maybe more of a decorative piece that should stay on your your desk, or I don't know if it's necessarily great for travel, is what I would like to say. Unless you do what I did and I just left the lid off and I let them dry out, which seems counterintuitive because the whole point is like, oh, it's jelly, it's like a fun texture. But for me to be able to take it around and actually be able to use it, because I typically don't paint. I don't have a studio. I don't have a set place to paint. I just paint wherever I am. So for me to be able to use it, I need to be able to like throw it in a backpack and not be worried about it making a giant mess. So yeah, that's something to be aware of if you decide to pick this up. Um, and you really shouldn't be worried about it drying out because, again, it is gouache paint and it does dry. That's how it works, that's how it reacts. I think a lot of people who have picked up this kit have been worried about the longevity. Like, will it last after a few years? It will. It's just going to dry up, and that's just how gouache paint works. So, on one hand, I feel like it's a tiny bit gimmicky because you could theoretically just get two paints and find a container and put the paints in the container, like you could do that. But this is cute. Like, it's a cute setup. It's a little messy. If you're just mindful and careful, it'll be fine. I'm just not a very careful person. I like things that I can just throw in a bag, or you have to be careful with it. Especially because as soon as I took off the plastic tabs on top, the paint is like filled to the very, very, very top, and you have to like carefully wipe it back into the jars. It was kind of a mess. And maybe I should have left the plastic top on each of the cups, but I think it's cuter without the plastic, so I took it off. That's another thing to maybe think about and to consider before you decide to do it. But other than that, I really, really, really do like these paints. I really like what I made with these paints. So, okay, now I'm going to talk about what I'm painting. this entire week. I think it's because it's winter where I am and snowy and sad. Um, I just really wish I could have a fresh orange, like a ripe from the tree orange, you know? Like I need that. I've been dreaming of that all week, and it sounds really dumb, but that's all I want right now, you know? It's the little things in life that like matter, and I really want an orange. And not like a shitty orange, not like a bad orange, not like a dried out husk of an orange. You know when you get an orange and it's like crusty inside? I don't want that. I want like, okay, I'm gonna stop. I sound crazy, but that's what I've been thinking about all week is fruit, and I wish it was fruit season. You know, there are some things that are in season right now, but a lot of stuff is just not that good. Surprise, strawberries are really good right now. But everything else is just kind of bleh. And I don't know. I don't want no apples. I don't want no stinking apples unless it's in juice form. I don't want apples. I don't want bananas. Disgusting. Get that away. I want a mango. I want a ripe mango. I want a ripe orange. And I want it to be warm outside. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I should move to California. But I'm too broke to do that. So right now I've been surviving off of the like naked juice. That's good. It's not the same thing though. It's not the same as a ripe orange. I know I sound crazy, but like that's all I've been thinking about. So I decided to paint this girl with her hand on her ear, like she's kind of like contemplating life, you know? And in the background there's going to be like oranges floating around, because that's what she's thinking about. And I tried to make the leaves, I modeled them after a mock orange bush, which I don't know why it's called a mock orange, but it's called a mock orange, so I thought I would just do that, because we actually have one on our porch outside of the farmhouse that I live on, and in the summer it smells so good. I just miss the summer. I think that's like ultimately what's happening right now. The seasonal affective disorder, she's here, and it's like, I don't know. It's almost how do you say February? I always want to say February because it's just a stupid spelled word. And summer is right around the corner. Like, it's gonna be summer. It's gonna be fine. But in the meantime, I'm very sad. And as always, there might be chicken and goat sounds in the background. I can't stop them. I can't make them be quiet. They're just gonna do what they want to do. Okay? Oh, there's some sheep sounds too. Wow. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna move to the Bahamas and eat oranges all the time. That's kind of my plan, my 10-year plan. Hopefully when I hit my 30s, I'll be living it up somewhere where it's warm. The one problem is I would miss all the chickens and I'd miss all the goats. Maybe if I can take all of the sheep and push them to California or the Bahamas, then I'll be happy. I can ship them all. I don't know how that would work. I don't have much else to say. Oranges are fun to paint. I think for the last few minutes it's just gonna be animal noises because I don't really have much else to say. They have a lot to say. They know more about art than I do. Oh my god, who is that? I don't know which chicken that is. Hold on, let me insert a clip of this chicken. Yeah, he's like standing right outside of the car. He has a lot to say apparently. Yeah, that's him right now. I don't know why he's so rambunctious. Oh my goodness. I guess another stupid thing that I recently purchased was some worms on a string, you know, squirmels. Every few months I order like another 60 of them just so I can feel something, you know? So I can feel some joy, so I can feel alive. They really do spark joy. I don't need 5,000 of them, but I'm gonna get 5,000 of them. And I just kind of find them in my laundry, in my socks, in my drawers, on the counters. One time I found one in a mug with coffee in it, so I had to get rid of him. But yeah, they're all over the place, and I even tied some to, because I'm in a car as I record this, so I'm gonna insert a clip here too of where I put some worms on string. You see, there we go. Oh my god, they're fornicating. Stop that. The chickens don't like that. So I just have them in here, so when I, like, you know, you want to, like, look at the mirror or whatever. Ew, don't look at me. Then you get attacked, you get assaulted by two funky little worms, man, and they're just so happy. And it's like, how can you be upset when you see one of these guys? Anyway, back to the art. I don't really know how to paint clouds. I never learned how to paint. I just kind of did it. I just kind of threw some paint on there. I think gouache really lends itself to being flexible. Like, if you make a mistake, quote unquote mistake, it's easy to cover stuff up and it's easy to blend. And there's a pro and a con to that. On one hand, it's nice, you can fix your mistakes. On the other hand, it kind of reminds me of oil paint in that you could just sit here and work on this forever and ever and ever and ever. Whereas, like, acrylics and even watercolor, because watercolor is unforgiving as heck. If you mess up with watercolor, you know, sometimes you can roll with the little mistakes, but sometimes if you put, you know, like as an example, on an area where you want it to be light, if you spill paint or drip on it, it's like there's no going back. There's no going back unless you want to use a white paint or gouache to cover it up, but you lose that luminosity, you know, some art terms. But gouache is really easy. You can just cover stuff up and keep blending and just adding and adding and adding for forever. So it's really hard to decide, you know, when are you done? When can you stop? It's really hard to, like, you have to make yourself stop. And here it is. Here's the finished product. I went back and I did add eyelashes and I darkened her eyebrows just a little bit because, I don't know, they were a little bit too red toned. But here it is. Hello, friends! Hello! Oh my goodness. Don't jump on your brothers! What the heck? Okay, bye.